And now we're back with day 5. As the school year progresses, the day starts to feel like they're moving along much faster. Yeah, clearly day 4 was not even an hour. A part of it may be the change of the season, however, slightly that change may be. While the calendar says it's officially fall, the only thing I really noticed was the increased number of clouds in the sky. Better safe than sorry though, which is why I bought my anti-combat carbon fiber umbrella. Still, things have started to be routine for me in the morning. Wake up, throw on my same outfit, consider eating breakfast but realizing I'll wreck my stomach, walk to the station with a featherly light umbrella in hand. Just in case, oh. And wouldn't you know, I end up having another chat with Mr. Furnace on the ride to school. Hello, Mr. Natsu. How are you this morning? Doing fine, sir, thank you. And how about you? I'm doing well. So my niece told me over the weekend that you and Olivia were in a predicament of sorts. Yeah. Olivia was being picked on by someone, but it's not a problem anymore. I see, well, that's unfortunate to hear, and strange considering the substantial fund of the school gets for anti-student harassment program. What good is all that tax money if the classmates are still ragging on each other? If that means anything, Olivia knows how to handle herself. I was there to support her. That's fine, but the issue is not this sort of thing shouldn't be happening to begin with. That aside, Liz has gotten somewhat enthusiastic recently regarding Olivia. She's surprised at how animated she's gotten ever since that get-together at Randall's place, I think. I wager you have something to do with that, no? I cannot confirm or deny, sir, my involvement in the changes of sheets. Maybe a little. Yeah, it was certainly rocking the beginning, but we've been warming up to each other. It's nice seeing a different side of her, even if it's brief. I doubt. Can I take credit for that? Well, we all have unique chances to make a change, you know. If you're good at grasping though, that itself is something to be proud of. How do you know it's really a chance to do anything? He lets out a G for birding chuckle. Well, to flip our usual script, I'll let you in on an old phrase. A friend of mine once told me, if you see a fork in the road, take it. Yeah. Thanks, Mr. Ferris. Like my morning, the school day has become routine as well. Slave to PE with Damien, see Olivia's little doodles and sketches in art class, watch Liz lose her mind, tutoring Damien at lunch, talk shop with Ben. Though now I have to avoid Mia like the plague because she's surely out to kill me. All said, I think St. Hermon has been my best school experience out of many. I've lost count at how often I've moved. Must be a fresh head trauma. As for today, it's been raining pretty often recently, so Coach Soli made us play more dodgeball in the gym. Oh no. Mia was definitely gunning for me with the way she launched them at me with the speed of a catapult. I rest in Splendid's class, popping my spine against the curve of my chair. Apparently today's a short day because of some assembly, so the period will end much earlier than usual. It also means we got most of the period to slack off, do work. I glanced at the desk next to me, hoping to catch Olivia's latest artistic masterpiece when I noticed she's not drawing, instead only fidgeting. Hey Olivia, you seem a bit nervous, everything alright? Yeah, sorry about that. I've been hearing rumors that the school's shared drive might have been corrupted. Wait, really? Yeah, really. How would something like that happen? not sure, but I'm scared that it might have messed with the art contest submissions. I think you should check your entry on the website just to make sure it's okay. Technology, don't fail me now. With the urgency, I took out my phone and typed in the student website. Fast fingers lead me to the art contest tab. Can't this load bar go any slower? Finally the page loads and... oh. Looks like the submissions have been closed. What? I hold the phone up to Vanna and show her the page. The submissions have been closed since voted started last week. Oh. Jeez, I thought Mr. Lankick had spooked me. Olivia's all sides though. Well, that's quite reassuring. With the submissions closed, there's no chance of any hackers messing with them. Olivia doesn't seem convinced. She's drumming her fingers on her desk. Hopefully she feels loads better when the preliminary winners are revealed. Speaking of which, as the bell sounds, the class begins to pick up their things and Miss Galactic curls everyone in a single line. Alright everyone, we have an assigned row, so stick together. Before I join the rest of the line, I look back at Olivia, who seems to be stalling. Come on, I'll walk with you. I seem to stir something in her as she glances up to me while hastily shoving her books in her bag. Yeah, I'm coming. As we head out the door, I notice Olivia shuffling her hoodie a lot. Not a long walk to the auditorium, and despite Lankin's best attempt, most of the class splinters off to sit with their friends. Having expected this, he shrugs and makes his way over to the back of the auditorium where the other teachers are. Olivia and I are left struggling crowds trying to filter into a cramped theater of school. It's going to be difficult to find some seats. It's fine, I have a spot. Olivia wheels herself down a pathway and I follow suit. She heads down the aisle until we're at the first row of seats. There's a vacant spot where typical seats would be, with a faded handicap sign. Olivia parks her chair into an empty spot, to which I take a seat next to her. Best seat in the house, right? Can't complain. As the hall fills with more students, my anticipation rises. Oh man, I can hardly wait for the announcement. So, do you think I have a chance? Maybe. Photograph isn't super popular, but... Olivia folds her hands on her lap, staring straight ahead as her voice trails off. I knew that, but I'm sold. Liz. Hey guys. I have to remind myself that this is normal. I feel like Liz will probably, shock me if I'm hyper alert every time. She just sneaks up me an air assassin and just shows up right in front of my face. I can't believe it's finally here, gosh, I'm so excited. Me too, by the way, where's Damien? Hey guys, over here! Damien is in the far back of the auditorium yelling and waving his hands in the air, catching our attention. He goes to get in trouble. He's going to get in trouble for that. Frail, sit down! Damien immediately stops and takes his seat. With tempered expression, we both sit in silence for just a few minutes before the principal scaler walks on stage and taps on the standing microphone. Okay everyone, got a whole bunch of important announcements to make, so I'll make them quick so we can all get early for lunch. As soon as the idea of going to lunch early is brought up, Principal Scaler and the entire room goes silent as what is that word? I guess when it comes to early lunch, it's serious business. Over the next 15 minutes, Principal Scaler goes over important events coming up in the school year. Most I would consider standard things like prep rallies for sports team or bake sales for fundraisers. I never have fun during these. And the upcoming field trip, and even something about the new club being formed, such as the Japanese Animation AP Appreciation SIA. Not the best acronym if I had to say. Otherwise, it's all mostly boring housekeeping stuff when one got right down to it. I almost wonder why such an announcement was worn at the assembly when the mood suddenly shifts with Miss Keller's next big announcement. Now that we got the main stuff out of the way, I say the best announcement for last. St. Hamad is proud to announce the 5 semi-finalists for the annual Fresh Start Art Contest. Cheers and applause were loud enough to make my ears ring. Yet I'll be lying if I said I also wasn't excited for the reveal of just who had made it to the semi-final. Maybe I was giving myself a bit too much credit, but I really wanted to be among the finalists. I can almost taste victory, in fact. I had turned to face Olivia and prepared to cheer alongside her, but I'm stopped in my tracks when I noticed that, unlike the rest of her peers, Olivia seems to be uneasy about the prospect. Almost scared, even. Before I can actually reveal why her sudden change in mood, Olivia continues with her next words, cutting train of thought. And here we have our 5 semi-finalists. The pieces of 5 skilly students who have beaten all the other competition came up, followed by the names of the victors right above them. Alas, I see no photograph submission in sight. At least I gave it a shot, right? Oh man, I didn't make it in. This next drops down with melancholy noodles. I can't help but to pity for the bumming at the Branchosaurus. Buzz, I check my phone, I see. D-Man, tell Liz to come back here, bro. I'm sure Damien's got that handle. I'm sorry, I wouldn't be able to live a normal life with Mia existing, bro. I'm definitely one of these students looking her down right now. Despite my silly mood, I look back to the semi-final winner that I can't help but to be amazed by them. Each artwork is impressive in their own right, their colors blending in wonderfully, and the figures beautifully designed. It's easy to see why they were voted as the winners. Last one especially caught my eye. The scenic landscape with the setting sun was stunning. If not for the slightly stylized of the skylight in the Fenix color palette, it could probably pass off as a real photograph with some filters passed over it, similar to the work Olivia does. I'm not an art critic yet, but if I were, I'd label it a masterpiece and easily the best out of all of them. Let's give our winners a big applause. The Tonian feels with the usual kind of clapping one would expect an event like this. Polite with the underlining tone of disinterest, though, one person felt compelled to consistently make a piercing high whistle. We will be displaying the winner's art piece in the room 237. You're welcome to view them during lunch and after school today. Oh, neato. Princess Kelly continues the rest of assembly announcing other events for the school and more minor reminders. Behind me, I see the teachers starting to psych themselves up for the herculean task of getting 200 hungry dinosaur teenagers out of the room and towards the lunch without anyone getting killed. Principal Skeller finishes and waves back to them to signal it's time. Alright, we're going to start adjourning to lunch. You all know how this goes, so no just going to the exit. Being in the first row, we are the first to go up. I follow behind Olivia, making it to the hall. Hey Olivia. She stops and turns a bit. Geez, she's still anxious about the sight thing earlier. She looks pale. I wanted to check out the winning paintings a bit more. Wanna come along? She considers for a moment. No, go on without me. I need to use the restroom. Alright, I'll see you by the lunch table then. Olivia nods and starts off down the hall following the flow of students towards the lunchroom. Let's see, the principal said it'll be room 237. First thing I noticed walking into the classroom was the amount of people checking out the gallery. While I didn't expect it to be filled to the brim with eager students, there is a decent amount of people here. About a baker's dozen or so. Maybe more will come when they finish their lunches. While I'm here now, let's take a look at the lucky winners. The pieces are set on easels in the back of the classroom. Some desks and chairs are moving closer to the front to give each one their own space. One by one, I take a moment to give each canvas a thorough review. The auditorium screen really doesn't give the art justice because now I really take in the details of each one being held up. The color patches, the brushwork, the subtle nuances. Yeah, I can definitely see all of them having a good shot at getting first prize, but now it's time to set my eyes on the eager one I was looking for that was first shown. What I recall from Mr. Plankton's lesson, it's made with acrylic, explaining why the colors of it seem more vibrant. It stands out in definition to the other paintings in the contents, most of which were either violently absurd and meaningless or muted still lifes of ordinary objects. The metal of mystifying colors and organic lines drawing the viewer deeper into the piece, I feel as though this would be a place I wake up to within a fascinating dream. Fantastical? Right. There's no big structures or forced metaphor here, just a fascinating, eager merger of creative expression and real world beauty. I feel my fingers itching for a familiar weight of my DSLR. This is a piece that I want to immortalize in my portfolio. It's hands down the winner of this contest in my eyes. I simply must find out who made this. Looks like this breathtaking show of artist talented was created by the semi-finalist winner, Incognito. Wait, that's a problem. Ah, Nico, I'm glad you swung by. Looks like you're admiring the art contest entry. I told you that Saint Hamad's artistical programs were unparalleled. That's not mine. What's not yours? I tried to say more, but the words weren't leaving my mouth. Ben's eyes follow mine to the bottom of the painting in front of me, and I watch as he makes the realization as I do. Inko, you didn't. Did you paint this? I had no idea your styles were so developed, so humble. I didn't know. That's not my entry. It's not. It's not mine. I was a photograph, but that's your name during a one. Must be some kind of mistake. A million scenarios come to mind. They must have gotten the wrong name somehow. If they did, I think the real artist would come forward by now. Then the submission website must have been hacked or broken. But I still check for stuff like that. If it was, we would have known by now. Then, Inka, are you sure you didn't submit someone else's art piece by accident? Of course I didn't. Why would I do something like that? You're the only one who could have logged into your account, Inka. Suddenly, everything stops. My account. Did someone... Look, relax, alright? We can get this sorted out, just don't panic. Ben lowers his voice. But Inko, just to be clear, what? You didn't just get a bit of extra help, right? Ben looked at me through the edges of his glasses eye to eye. There's some real stakes in this context. Cheating is taken seriously, especially fraud. The words echo around me. Fraud. It makes my bone chill. There's ingenuine faker, liar, and there's all bad in different ways, but fraud is just dripping with frigid combinations. No, I swear I submitted a photograph. Ben relaxes his shoulder. Alright, just making sure. Sorry to alarm you. It's pretty troubling how he can go from deadly serious to jovialing like a flipping switch. Like a flip switch. You going to be alright? Sorry, I just need some air. Hey, feel free. I'll let Susan know, okay? Yeah, thanks, Ben. No problem, take it easy. Ben offers me an earnest smile, waving to me as he steps out of the room and down the hall. After sometimes I follow him stumbling down the hall and trying to make sense of what happened. That would explain why everyone was, gassing his work. It wasn't his work. I thought everyone liked my photograph, but they all thought it was some kind of expert painting instead. I don't even know how to express it. I feel empty. I thought maybe my hard work was finally paying off, but I submitted the right entry, so what happened? Did someone change it? And if so, how? It's such a good piece too. What even is there to be gained by putting my name on it? I have ideas, but I want to see how this plays out. I wander aimlessly through the halls. The thought of missing lunch passed through my mind, but there's a different sort of emptiness perverting my stomach. Why is it rattling me like this? Man, it's not like I'm in trouble or anything. Ben's helping me sort this out. I'm at a loss of what even to think right now. Oh crap, Olivia mentioned something about the survey issue before. I couldn't see my submission, but was it just that? Maybe Olivia was right to be worried. Well, duh. Why else would she be so nervous? My aimless walking leads me outside the principal office in the gala. There's one cityscape painting from the start of the school year. The very first painting I ever saw here and still one of the best. The vibrant cityscape that morphs in rigid structure and urban planning into soft and inviting utopia, as if viewed from the eyes of a child. The sky above the city is beautifully shaded of crimson, with radiant clouds and clustered along its length. If the art contest submissions was the best painting I've ever seen, then this one comes pretty close. I can only imagine the cumulate she must have gone. I should know that word right now. She must have gone from painting this back then. You know, for a while, I got to have that experience. I had to step in the shoes of an artist much better than I. Maybe that was the intent. All the praise, approval, everything I've been wanting. Just for a while, I was given it by an anonymous stranger. Wherever that may be. Actually, that gives me a bit of an idea. If I'm clever and Olivia's up for it, this can be a cool way to get her to show off her painting more. Everyone would be like, maybe that's what she needs. I could act as like a personal publisher for her, so she doesn't have to deal with people. Wait a second. I peeled down the empty hallway. I need to find Olivia. She couldn't possibly. But why me? Why would she? Thinking about it only increased my worries in desperation. To find who I hope to after Jesus isn't the goal. I haphazardly checked all the places where Olivia could be, and I couldn't find her anywhere. My hunt for the... Why? For Onyx leads me to the second floor of the... whatever that was. Feels like there's a lead brick in a pit in my stomach as I internalize my current situation. A soft pattering of rain hitting the window grabs my attention to see a gloomy covered of Valakander outside. My eyes wander along the school's pathway covering in mud thanks to the earlier rainfall. Wait a minute. Those look like tracks in the mud. I burst through the main entrance door, and I'm met with the feeling of droplets hitting my head. Outside, a dark overcast has rolled in me. The forecast calls for an on and off rain during the day, but pretty garnly clouds make it like almost dust around. Crap. What am I wasting time for? I follow the trail urgently, fearing that the rain will wash it away. Looks like it's going through the whole pathway. I ignore my clothes becoming progressively damp and water collecting on my shades. Eventually, I round the curve to lead to a bridge and see the distressing item at its end. A wheelchair. Olivia's wheelchair. Empty of the occupant toppled to its side. A newfound fear grits my born from the mental imagination provided by that sight. The cruel thought pushed me up the steps faster than humanly possible, even as my rational mind tries to reassure me. Raining across the deck, my breath is caught in my throat when I reach the middle. Knees on the ground, head stuck down. There's damage and soaked school supplies scattered all over the walkway. Oh god, is she okay? My foot shifts trying to force me closer. Slowly, her head tilts up and the sound of my shoes squeaking on the floor. Inca? Her tear-stained eyes stare at me with dead expression as her voice sounds weak. Olivia? I feel like I can finally breathe again. Slowly, Olivia pushes herself up and I notice she's lying atop a pile of paper shredded. The feeling of relief slowly fades away and I remember just why I was looking for her. We stayed silent, only staring at each other as the rain continued to bear down on us. She simply sits there, letting herself grow more and more soaked from the rain. Do you want to talk? No, not out in the open. I grab my compact umbrella from my backpack and unfurl it. It doesn't do much to dry Olivia off, but at least she's not getting more soaked. The umbrella is placed between us and the elements against the ledge, forming a personal canopy above us. Here now, we're alone. Let's pick next to Olivia to take a seat. It's odd, we sat together before, but sitting on the ground in the rain is emotional. And the room is just a little claustrophobic. There's a bit of paper melted on the pavement soaked by the rain. Though torn apart and waterlogged, I can sort of make it out. A tree, a rough sketch of one anyways. Like the one that stood promptly in my false submission. So you did it? Inko, please, I can explain. I didn't have a choice. What? I know what I did was wrong, but I didn't have any other way. It wasn't a choice to not trick me. She avoids looking at me and focused on the scraps of paper scattered around the floor like confetti. It wasn't to trick you, it's just... I get it, you're mad at me. I'm not mad, I'm just confused. I thought we were good friends. I wasn't expecting it, expecting you. She pauses to give her throat some reprisal. I know that doesn't say it. Her usual water bottle isn't anywhere nearby. A shaky breath escapes her mouth. When you came around, I thought you were no different than the others. That you were just some self-centered, pretentious midwit who only cared about his image. That's when I got the idea of using you to swap out my artwork to your artwork with mine. You didn't seem like the kind of person who'd care about how he gets the attention from others. Just that he gets it. Her description of my character feels really reductive, but the ache in my chest tells me it hits a little closer to home. But that's not what I think of you now. Lennox is the one person I can trust, so when he went to bat for you, saying we'd make good friends, I was worried. What's so special about this guy? I honestly got scared he would be wrong. That you'd just be like everyone else and I'll be setting myself up for failure. But worse than that, Inko, I was afraid he'd be right, and I'd have to face what I've done to myself. And now I've gone and done something like this. Switching my contest entry? She nods, swallowing hard. I wasn't thinking. Suddenly everything was out of balance. Everything I created, all my work, all my own little world, I was suddenly changed, and I had no control over it. I just had to do something. I didn't know I was doing that, I'm sorry. She stopped to process my words and continues. I knew I'd get caught, it's stupid, I was hoping for it even. Someone to figure out that it was swapped so it would be changed and everyone would be none the wiser. She turns to face me with silver eyes rolling with tears. I'm sorry. Please don't hate me. I just don't want to go back to being the person I used to be. The person who didn't care about hurting you. Her head tilts downward with a violent hitch of breath. The ivory claws extends the grip on her knee in a painful display, and yet Olivia chokes back any sound she's making. Her body shudders with every heavy breath from her, and I realize that every last defensive barrier she had was completely gone. Olivia laid herself bare, leaving only the crying girl desperately trying to silence her purple tears. One of these again. I kinda know why, and frankly, I don't care why. Facing those unbridled words from Livia, I had to be a heartless bastard to do anything but accept her apology. It's clear that the guilt has been rotting in her conscience ever since, but what she did was wrong, no doubt about it. Then again, thinking of her circumstances, how could I blame her? How could anyone? I probably wouldn't have ended up having to do the same in her shoes. At this point, Olivia puts herself through enough stress as it is. If there is one thing she needs to hear right now, is that I forgave her. I don't hate you, Olivia. You don't? Nah, I don't. I wouldn't lie, I definitely felt hurt when I first found out. But the fact that you were willing to admit your mistakes show that you've grown as a person. I'm really glad to hear that we're friends. It's refreshing to hear her say it. I was worried she only just put up with me. Olivia seemed to understandably puzzled over my lack of anger towards her. I figured you would be more upset. Is this just your pity? If so, I don't want it. It's not pity, Olivia. I'm accepting your apology. I don't want you to feel guilty about it. The sooner we can put all of this behind us, the better. But I can tell you're a good person, so don't worry about it, alright? I offer her my best smile. Olivia slowly nods. But you put it away. When you put it that way, I guess. But still, truth be told, I deserve to fail to actually face the consequences. I'm such a freaking fraud. Who cares? All over a dang painting. Olivia, you did what you thought you had to do, and you're saying sorry for the consequences. That's all that matters. I scoot closer to Olivia. Huh? That was you taking action in a way I never would have guessed. A crime of passion, I think it's called. I'm probably wrong, but she gets the idea. The world runs on those. You don't need to change. I don't think you did anything wrong. She leaned her head against the wall of the railing before looking at me with half smile. Thanks. You're right. I'm just throwing everything away like an idiot. I'm just scared. I'm here with you. I coat the rest of my tired grin for her, and she looks down at the shredded paper again. After that, everything was said and done, things became quiet. Beneath the solace of my brother, we relaxed together, at least until Olivia begins shifting uncomfortably. I sit and watch as she takes her cleaves and shifts them to her side with one hand. Her tail comes around and presses into the paper-filled floor before her, keeping her upright as she starts to lean forward. Finally, with the strength of her tail and one arm, Olivia lifts her hips from the floor and swings her shins fully underneath her. She smiles as she kneels over me. You're just gonna sit there? Crap, I guess I was gawking stupidly. But it's just fascinating seeing a girl maneuver herself in these odd yet well-practiced ways. I understand. I feel you. I'm kinda jealous actually. I wish I had a tail to do some of the things she could. I pressed my hand down on the floor and pushed myself up. I don't know why. I had thought to stand, but instead I shifted myself into a kneeling position too. We're face to face now. For a split second, I feared the worst as Olivia drew me into a hug. I don't know what she would do, but I like this. For how strong her arms are, they should have wrapped around my chest, feeling exceptionally tender. My own arms enveloped as I probably said that, enveloped her, returning their embrace in a similarly soft way. And as her arms loosened, I backed down, though I don't want to take my hands off her. That was nice. Don't make it weird. Sorry about that. Through the sound of the rainfall hitting the umbrella, my ears suddenly picked up the noise of what sounds like squeaking. I looked down to see that there was something shifting in Olivia's pocket. A little beast emerges from its hiding spot with a squeaky yawn, to which Olivia offers her hand to use as a platform. Hey little guy, we forgot about you. Had a nice nap. Inko. Alright. Alright, you two haven't met each other, Inko. This is Guts. Guts? Me, Inko. Oh. Hi, Guts. Awkwardly wave. That explains all the rats you're drawing. I awkwardly wave at their apprehensive-looking rodent. Avia lifts Guts on her shoulder gracefully, like her hand in an elevator for him. You brought him to school? Well, yeah, I just really needed him today since, all the crap that happened. She gives Guts a few scratches under his chin. I bring him sometimes when things get rough. And nobody notices? You haven't? Touche. Thanking Sid once, he just told me to not let him run around the school, otherwise it would be considered a health hazard or something. A tardy bell rings out in the distance. We're late for our next class. I'm sure Lankings will understand. We should probably get back to class. Here, hold this. I gave Olivia the umbrella so she and the rats stay dry while I go fetch the wheelchair. I did the thing, Gator Hugger. By now it's settled some into the mud. This wheelchair has definitely seen better days. After dusting up the dirt, pulling water the best I can, I make my way back. Thanks. She offers the umbrella, but I make sure to hold it above her. I keep the wheelchair steady with one hand. Olivia climbed into the seat using her tail to help herself up. We stand in the rain and silence for a moment, only sharing constant glares. So what do we do about the contest now? That's a good question. Ben was there when I saw my name on the pin, and he's already went to tell someone. So like you said, no harm, no foul. What about your own submission? I ruined it. Scratching the back of my head, it wouldn't have won anyways. It's just a picture. Yeah, well. I thought it was pretty okay. Hearing those words from Olivia sent a strange flash of heat to my face. It's not unpleasant, but again, those honest words from her really do cut through me for some reason. Thanks. A loud squeak draws my eyes to Guts as he stood atop Olivia's shoulders. Ah, you too? I ring a smile stretching across Olivia's face. I think it means Guts is saying it's actually so-so. Guts is so slack. Guts... Inko doesn't even have the time to make anything for the contest. He's got high standards. Yep, it's why I've gotten so good. The sheer absurdity of it. I don't know which of us broke first, but our laughters filled the air, hearing only but us and the rainfall cutting off all the noise. So, now what? I don't know. I don't want to go yet. Still pretty worn out. Worn out? A smile across my face as a wicked idea came to mind. Well, too bad. What? I walked behind Olivia, grinning like a mad idiot. Inko, what are you doing? Inko? Her head tries to follow me as I stand right behind her chair. I figure that pushing your chair around is really tiring, so how about I help you out? Olivia blushes and looks away. Fine, just for today. Returning to the campus was certainly awkward. Passersby shot us looks. It's not the most common scene to see a girl in a wheelchair just rolling on and sloppy wet and tracking mud in. More likely though, it was because said girl has taken to using my umbrella to hide herself from those looks. She was already extremely red in the face. It was a conundrum. Drop the umbrella and let people see her, or keep it up and draw more attention. I'll show. Name it Ito Theorem. She's gonna kill me if I ever attempt to publish it. By making our way back to Olivia's current class, she simply stroked her still concerned head. I didn't really have much of a choice from all that I knew of the girl. Her last classes were all on the upper level, as she was in possession of the elevator key, and I was in possession of the weakest knees here in St. Maud, at least according to Coach Stone. So I willed her to my current photograph class. On the way over, she kept bending her head back, peeking at me, and she's making sure I'm still there. Knocking on his closed door, the Pseudosaurus professor didn't even bat an eye at the poorly hidden girl. He simply stepped aside and let us through. Ben was looking our way, but I chose to pay him no mind. After everything I heard, Olivia didn't even register he was there. She simply rolled herself to the back of the classroom and threw the door into what I guess was Mr. Lankin's supply closet. You know what? I'm an idiot. It's a dark room, isn't it? The stares of my other classmates abated thankfully as our teacher continued to lecture. Taking my own seat, I focused on Lankin, as much as I could at least. My muddled thoughts kept me distracted the whole period. Just before the bell rang, Lankin stares me dead in the eye. He points a stern finger directly at me, then to the floor, signaling, "You stay." Once everyone else left, he closed the door and locked it. "So, care to explain why you're both wet, muddy, dragged it through?" Brought her to my class and she's not even supposed to be in this class? "Explain, sir." He opens the door in the back and seems to Olivia to come on out. The mud and the drenched clothes and the declaration of Saint Trinity. I was having a bad day. She looked a bit better, still drained, but she's not shivering. Her rat stood on her lap and Miss Glenn extended a finger to scratch under his chin. I can see that. He takes a seat against a nearby desk and waves a hand for Olivia to go on. When she doesn't, he shifts his hand to me. I look between the two of them. Mr. Atlantic leers at her like, "Bruh," and Olivia's pleading eyes. Ultimately, I shake my head in the negative. I just helped Olivia get out of the rain. Of course. He slouches further atop the desk. Can I tell you some other time? Sure. Wherever it was, it looks like you recovered pretty well. Olivia doesn't answer verbally, instead gives him a bashful smile and nod. Was it about your work again? Yeah. Oh, this girl. He turns to me and points a thumb at her. You know, the work she's so concerned about absolutely wrecked the grading curve in my class. For the sake of the other students, I have to put a limit on extra credit assignments. Really? Yeah, never before would I even consider such a restraint. Why punish someone for working too hard? I would think to myself. And 4 years ago, this green goblin comes rolling into my class, half a semester and more than a few angry calls from her parents later, my hands were tied. Young lady simply doing too dang much. Oliva smiles but doesn't look up from her pad. It was that much better than all the other students. Well, no. I didn't grade by technique. If I did, you'd be in big trouble, Inko. Olivia's work was very good even then, but the main thing I admired is how motivated she can be. I haven't seen anyone so enthusiastic to just paint in years. Surely I haven't seen anyone so enthusiastic I've had to change the rules like that. You were worried it stopped me? Was I? That definitely sounds like me, but it didn't stop you, not even a little. Heck, that year you even got me to see some things differently. I didn't think I'd ever do anything like that. You did when you came in after class on a Friday before Mother's Day. Take a look at this. I'm handed a quill pen and the first thing I notice about it is how soft the feather portion is. It's a special pen you always use. It's actually from my wife. Whoa. Inspecting it closer, I can now see more of the inter details. From the faded engravings on the shank to the maintenance but worn point. It's well made and kept, and yet the feather and brass showed its aging. She came in that afternoon with a whole stack of crumbled painting drafts, so frustrated she couldn't even get it right, and so determined to make it perfect. I said, any of these would be great. Your aunt will love any of these, and she fires back. If it's not great enough for me, why would it be great enough for someone I love? I didn't have an answer. So I tell her to take a step back. We take a few hours to go over the fundamentals once more. I send her home to try getting it right over the weekends. And come Monday, she returns a hug. She turns and hugs me for the first time. That Friday night though, what she said was on my mind. I talked about it all night with my wife. Then that morning I decided to make changes for myself. My wife was molting at the time, so there was always a new feather or three in our blankets each morning. I took the biggest one, preserved it right, got a bit of help to make it into a real pen, and I've used it ever since. It helps me remember to do my job right for the people I care about, and for the people my students care about. I think what it was is that childlike reasoning that comes so naturally from the youth. That reasoning makes the type of innocence earnest, dedicated, and sometimes I think I lost for a while. Don't give me so much credit. You haven't lost it, have you? Good. Don't lose it for me, okay? Okay. Pancakes, yawns, and stretches. You're feeling alright to go to your next class? Yes, I'm ready. Great. He claps a hand over my back. We should do this again sometime. Mr. Lankins ushers us out of his classroom as the late bell thrills, handing us a note he rapidly scribbled on. Mr. Franklin doesn't seem enthused to see us come in late, but sighs as she reads the late note from Mr. Lankins. As I took my usual spot, I felt something odd in the corner of my eyes. Looking up, it was to see Olivia looking my way, with that smile on her face, one that spoke so many words yet I couldn't figure out what. All I could do was turn was try to match it before focusing on Miss Prolikin's latest lecture. Miss Prolikin being our last class. As more time passes, the art contest fades into the background. Last week I had a scare when Miss Principal's gonna call me into her office. I feared that they figured out that Olivia did, and I assumed I was a part of it, just as she predicted. Luckily, it wasn't the case. Instead, she wanted to inform me that they had no leads as to who could have done the swap, and since it was tampered, it had to be removed from the contest. No skin off my back, honestly. As comprehension, she gave me one of the runner-up prizes, a coupon for some pizza from some Italian restaurant called Dynamo. Dynamo. Not the biggest pizza fan, but not a bad prize to get after all of this. Saving it for a rainy day, ha ha ha, get it? However, I found myself in a conundrum of my own doing. My peers concerned about my entry were resolved, but I haven't accounted for the new questions about my portfolio. My paint portfolio. A few times I've shown off my photographic works, they've been mildly impressed, at best. They were never upfront about it either. No, instead I got the runaround. Oh, yeah, those are nice, Ingo. Not bad, not bad. But what you did for the contest? I couldn't even be mad about it, since it's just another misunderstanding, unintended lie from my side of things. But then I thought, what if it wasn't a lie? What if I was actually good at it? And after working at it for the past month, yeah, no, I can't unscrew this. For the past 3 weeks, I've been staying at school making use of one of the club rooms to practice. Inka, did you listen to any of the tips I gave you? Using everything I had on my generous list, namely the textbook from Mr. Lankins and the how-to tutorial online, I stayed as late as possible trying to get to the same skill level as Olivia. And as I stared at the horrified Cyrillic monstrosity before me, I could do nothing but weep in my own inadequates. Not actually, but squinting at a Lovecraftian aura before me, I can only maybe see a little progress, drowning in the madness of the excessive thing. Olivia had made good on her promise to teach me around the time I asked Mr. Lankin to borrow the keys to the spare room. And while I memorized all of her teachings down to the letter, what am I even looking at? Are you trying an abstract sort of thing here? It was an attempt at a self-portrait actually. Could probably post it online so some rich asshole would buy it. Is it that good? No, never trust the opinion of people on the internet. I learned that the hard way. After a brief period of awkward times, I let myself collapse on the stool behind me and tossed up the oily apron in frustration. After this rate, I'm going to be a double fraud or something. Correct. Flat. I didn't even have the energy to get angry. Probably looks better now at least. Dang. How did Olivia get so good at this? Olivia, please. You gotta have some actual lights for me. She quietly hums for herself, slipping away at a notebook she had splattered across her lap into her nearby bed. Well, when I want to draw, it's usually because I got something on my mind. What, like inspiration? Kind of. More so that I just envisioned something and I want to put that on a canvas. Bruh, I didn't even get to read it, bruh. Dang it, bruh. The door of the City of Flies open and Damien quickly storms inside. Inka, Avia, are you guys here? He takes a heavy breath as his vision darts around the room. After a moment of surprise, I raise my arm to catch his attention. Damien, what's wrong? The hyperactive Dilophosaurus spots me taking a final breath before jogging over. Guys, I need to ask you something. What, is everything alright? Is something happening? I can't help but to panic. I've never seen Damien this flustered. Do you want to come to the arcade with me and Liz? Bruh, man, shock the mood. And it comes out with the, yeah, man, arcade. They could have sent a text. Is that it? Yeah, that's what I said. Wait, when was this decided? I thought something bad had happened. Nope, just asking. Liz already has the car prepped and everything. Uh-oh. I probably should have expected that, but still. How did you know where we were here? I didn't. I just kept opening doors until I found you two. I've been at it for a while, actually. Damon's eye darts to the canvas that lies on the floor next to me. You working on your next masterpiece? Oh, painting sideways is probably one of your trade secrets, huh? Olivia hides her snickering with her hands. Don't worry, I won't tell, so. Yeah, that's right. Don't tell anyone. I lean down to pick up the canvas and place it upright, deciding to remove the ugly painting and place it in the corner of the room to dry. Anyways, how about it? To the arcade. The Olive Barnarians. Fidgets, her brow lowered in contemplation as she considers the question. The arcade, huh? It's not like I had any other plans today. Sure, why not? Alright, let's go. Wait, just don't. She knocked it over again. Liz, Inka, Olivia, there you are. Damien was taking so long to get you, so I was about to come find you myself. The time both Damien and I were wheezing for air. Despite Olivia's posh protests and hesitation, Damien had wasted no time in grabbing her by the handlebars and sprinting her for the exit. I had chased after them, all the while Olivia screamed like a banshee as she was pushed through the hallway at breakneck pace. Yeah, Yeah. So, taking a breath and standing upright. All of her claws have dug into the armrest, and she definitely trying to kill Damien with her glare, which he happily ignores. Why didn't you just message me or something? I wanted to, but didn't want to ruin your concentration, man. So instead, you kicked the art room door open. Yup. This had a good grace and looked embarrassed on Damien's behalf. But yeah, give you a little extra time, right? You've been staying late for forever now. I can't hide the wins. It hasn't occurred to me that more people would notice. I'll relax, not like you're the only one. Yeah, I sometimes need to stay behind for student council and club meetings. Right, sure, so come on, the car and the student select. The Dino Duo starts towards the student parking lot, heading towards a rather old but well-kept inn. Oliva grumbles silently to herself, but follows after nonetheless. Come on, dude. It'll take a few minutes to get Olivia in and then 30 to get to the arcade. It wouldn't take that dang long. Olivia huffs and wheels herself to the passenger side, opening the door for herself. Do you need any? It's fine. To punctuate her statement, Olivia uses her strong arms to lift herself on her armrest. Then, with more grace than I thought possible, Olivia scaled possible from the olive-scaled girl. She managed to flip down the passenger into the passenger seat. I stared at the abandoned chair, wondering where to put it. I got room in the trunk, you go. Clunk. The trunk lid pops up with a heavy thunk to punctuate that. It takes me more time than I'd like to admit to figure out how to undo the lock to actually collapse the chair. But once I'm done, I'm able to slide it into a spacious storage area easily. Damien has already hopped through the window of the passenger seat by the time I'm done, as if he practiced the maneuver. Clack, clack, clack. I simply open the door behind Liz's seat and watch as the pile of soda cans emptied onto the pavement below. Ah, sorry, those are from this morning. Just toss them into the back seat when I'm done. Surprised Liz doesn't make you use a bag. I do. Damien pulls up an overflowing plastic bag as if it were a trophy. Why haven't you tossed all the bottles away already? I'm saving them for a project about recycling. Plus, I'm also going to use a couple of them for a sculpture. Save me the trouble of going out and finding them. Damien. And I get to drink as much soda as I want. I don't really see anything as Damien scooped out the rest of the cans from the floor and pulled up the car and puts them in a new bag, which he then stuffs in the car trunk before giving me and Olivia a thumbs up. Right, dudes, we're good to go. I'm not sure how long this arcade scene is gonna take, or if anything's gonna happen. So let's call this apart. What day is it? Is this day 5? Yeah, it's day 5.